If you find yourself running from one appointment to the next, right? Physical therapy on Mondays and Wednesdays, occupational therapies Tuesdays, speech therapy somehow squeezes in on Fridays, plus the weekly sensory integration sessions, and maybe even you're doing ABA or behavioral interventions, all while trying to manage a strict, restrictive diet and administer what feels like 50 to 100 different supplements, vitamins, detox agents, and add in those homeopathic remedies on a daily basis, I want you to know that you're not alone. More importantly, I want you to know that you're not missing anything. You're not failing your child. You're doing the best that you can. The truth, though, is that you might actually be doing too much. In the quest to help your child heal, to help them develop, or to aid in regulation, it's really easy to fall into this trap that's constantly adding more therapies, more protocols, more supplements, without realizing that their nervous system may already be at or beyond its capacity. When the brain and body are stuck in a constant state of stress, the sympathetic overload, vagus nerve dysfunction, subluxation in their nervous system, or dysautonomia, even well-intentional interventions can really become overstimulating and, in some cases, even counterproductive for growth and healing. That's why so many families that I work with report that despite doing everything right, their child's still stuck, they're plateaued, or they're even regressing. It's not because you haven't found the perfect protocol or the right combination of therapies. It's because healing doesn't come from piling more on. It comes from starting at the foundation and building upwards. Oftentimes the most powerful next step, it's not another supplement and it's not another therapy session. Rather than that, is taking a step back and it's calming the chaos, working to first regulate and restore their nervous system, because that's the system that the entire body is built on. It's how the brain communicates to every system in the body. Now, I have found that on average, a child with autism spectrum disorder is enrolled in 3 to 5 different therapies, and these are done each and every week. They're also taking between 5 and 20 various supplements, and their parents report having tried an average of 3 to 5 different restrictive diet changes, all with the goal to help them heal. Now, this creates this total load, and when you combine therapies, ABA, speech, OT, PT, special ed, you add on supplements or detox protocols, you add on the strict diets, you look at these level 3 autism families are managing 15 to 30 separate to-do lists on a daily basis, and even that in itself can be overwhelming and counterproductive, especially if the underlying nervous system dysregulation is not addressed first. So we're going to start with understanding what healing intervention overload really is. It's a new term that you probably haven't heard about yet. Healing interventions overload occurs when multiple beneficial therapies overwhelm a child's already dysregulated nervous system, and it causes the individual interventions to work against each other rather than building synergistically towards improvement. Think of your child's nervous system like a computer with limited processing power. When too many tabs are open and too many programs are running simultaneously, the entire system slows down or even crashes. You can also think of your child's nervous system like a circuit board. If it's already miswired and already overloaded with stress, plugging into more therapies, even really beneficial ones, can trip the system and literally blow a fuse. This explains why kids with subluxation and nervous system dysregulation often struggle with sleep. They have meltdowns, sensory overload, or even seizures or motor tics when their system gets overwhelmed from way too many therapies being done all at once. The hidden science behind why therapies are good is the energy theft hierarchy. This is when your child's nervous system is stuck in sympathetic dominance. essentially living in a constant fight or flight mode. It operates like a smartphone with a dying battery. Every function becomes about survival and energy conservation. It doesn't focus on growth, it doesn't focus on learning or even healing. A stressed out nervous system drains energy in a hierarchy. It will always start with the gut and GI system, which then often struggles with motility. It has issues with absorption, assimilation, and elimination as a result. And it causes a child to chronically not feel good and therefore struggle in therapies. Secondly, is that the motor system starts to suffer with delayed milestones, poor coordination, hypertonicity, or spasms of muscles. They have a weak core strength, and it results in crawling delays. They start to do the toe walking. They have incoordination and gait issues that stall out and are hard to address with PT or OT alone. Speech issues are also at their root of a neuromotor dysfunction. It's not a lack of knowledge, it's a muscle issue communication-wise. Third is the immune function really starts to lead to chronic inflammation. It requires, or it has frequent ear infections, antibiotics, more infections, asthma, even autoimmune conditions. If your child is stuck in this situation, no therapy is going to help them to get out of it. This is why millions of kids today still struggle with chronic gut issues, despite having perfect diets and thousands of dollars worth of supplements. The problem is not their nutrition. It's how their brain communicates to that organ. It's the neurology in their body. Now, the transformation is a very simple opportunity to understand. It's a sequential healing that actually works. The answer is not to abandon beneficial therapies. It's to understand the proper sequence for them to be introduced, creating what I call the multiplier effect, where each intervention becomes exponentially more effective. Phase 1 focuses exclusively on high-frequency, neurologically focused chiropractic care, which addresses subluxation patterns in the nervous system and restores proper neurological communication in the body, implementing a less is more approach by pausing the majority of these other interventions. Consider this building the foundation, but we got to do it from scratch. Phase 2 strategically reintroduces support for the core 4 functions, things like sleep, gut, GI function, imbalance, or immune system being imbalanced, and motor development. These foundational systems must be online before higher level cognitive functions, things like speech or academic learning, can actually be implemented properly. The best part is to start within phase 2 is the motor system, as you'll now see that your child is able to benefit a lot more from PT, OT, and speech therapy once their nervous system is better regulated, connected, or even coordinated. In most cases, when a full care plan of neurologically focused chiropractic care is done and is done appropriately and successfully, primitive reflexes will fade and integrate on their own. Now, finally, after the neuromotor system is working better, we can begin to really focus on gut and immune system. We can work on detoxification, elimination to get there smooth, safe, and effective. And it's really that simple. Now, phase 3 is when the magic really starts to happen. With a regulated nervous system and a stable foundational function, previously ineffective therapies can produce a dramatic result. And children with regulated autonomic function experience exceptionally better therapy gains and really start to catch up and get back on track developmentally. Now, I'm sure you're asking yourself, how do I find out if my child is dysregulated or overloaded? Well, the first step is doing what you're just doing now, your gut check on their progress. Is your parent gut telling you what's going on? Are things moving forward, or is your child stuck, or are they getting worse? Pretty simple to look at that. Secondly, is that in office, clinically, we use advanced insight scan technology to precisely measure nervous system dysregulation, subluxation, and vagus nerve dysfunction to see if your child's nervous system is completely overloaded, if it's overwhelmed, or even exhausted, meaning that they would struggle to gain benefit from other integrative therapies. This gives parents confidence to trust the process, to reinsist the urge to add more interventions prematurely. But clinically, we know that the scans will often improve before signs change, which means that the true foundational neurological healing is actually happening inside the body first before changes are more obvious to you as a parent. If everything we talked about in this video sounds all too familiar, if you would like to learn more about healing interventions overload, more about the insight scans, or learn more about the sequencing of optimal healing, I want you to click the link below, comment, or send us a DM. We look forward to serving you and your family with the primary focus of helping your child heal without any sort of external assistance. We look forward to meeting you.